Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan 1444 has commenced. MashaAllah, 2023. And most of us in the world have just completed Salat al-Taraweeh. Some parts are still going to be doing Taraweeh, inshallah. I'm in Makkah al-Mukarramah, and subhanallah, because I'm not feeling well at all, and because I have a bit of a fever and a flu, I'd like to dedicate a few moments to those who might be sharing my condition, mashallah. This is a means of expiation of sins, elevation of status. You have to bear patience, you have to keep going, you have to take a rest, you have to have lots of fluids. You have an option to fast or not to fast, but I think I will probably fast because Allah Almighty says, فَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Whoever is unwell or on a journey can make up on other days. That having been said, because I'm in a blessed place and I don't think it's that serious, inshallah, I'm thinking I will still continue with the fast by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it's not easy to be congested, to have a fever, to have a flu, and to be excited about Ramadan, to be worried at the same time that you may not be able to achieve what you've set out to achieve. And all of that together with planning. What are we planning? So every one of us should be planning extra acts of worship. Primarily a few things. Number one is the night prayer. Very important, preferably congregational, the night prayer known as Taraweeh. And we should be fulfilling that with a lot of excitement. Let's not be lazy, let's not cut corners, let's not rush and make haste in our recitations. Let's read the Quran in a melodious way. And inshallah, we hope to earn the pleasure of Allah. Remember, it's an act of worship. Acts of worship are not to be rushed. I have said a few times that try not to use the word salah and quickly in the same sentence. Let me quickly fulfill my salah. The word quickly is slightly insulting. When you think about it, you should say, let me fulfill my salah. You might want to make a little bit of haste, perhaps. You might not want to waste time, but to say, let me just quickly make my 2 rak'at or 4 rak'at. The word quickly is not respectful when it comes to prayer, which is connection with Allah. But still, when it comes to Taraweeh, we do have permissibility to recite the Quran a little bit quicker than what we would on condition that the rules of recitation are not compromised. So I'm excited about this Taraweeh. We've just completed Taraweeh here in Makkah al-Mukarramah with Sheikh Yasir al-Dawsari and Sheikh Abdul Rahman al-Sidais. They led in the first day. And mashallah, beautiful verses of the Quran, Surah al-Baqarah. Tomorrow we will hear more of the same surah. But nonetheless, together with that, we should also be reciting the Quran, either looking in or off by heart, depending on how much you know. And already promising that inshallah we're going to do a khatma. A khatma means we're going to complete the recitation of the Quran. We will try and finish it in Ramadan once or twice or how many ever times. It's not a condition that you should finish the Quran in Ramadan. You might have started the previous Ramadan, and you might be continuing this Ramadan. For as long as there is consistency, Allah loves those deeds that are done consistently, even if they are less. Similarly, go easy on yourself. Don't overexert yourself in a way that you end up sick and ill, and then you can't do anything. But we want to recite the Quran, we want to fulfill the night prayer, and then we want to make sure that we fulfill the 5 daily prayers on time. We will fulfill the 5 daily prayers on time. That's very, very important. So I think this first boost that I have, although the energy with which I usually speak, you can see is lacking, but all in a good cause, inshallah. We hope to be back with a bang by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a few days. But nonetheless, together with that, we must also remember the night is not just for eating. Yes, eating is an act of worship when it's done at the right time, but remember the amount of food. you need to go easy on yourself, because if you eat too much in the month of Ramadan, it's not healthy and it's a waste. Similarly, in these beautiful days, the plan that we have is that we will perhaps, do as much acts of worship, visit our parents, talk to them if we live with them, serve them, try and solve problems that we've had, try and mend relations, we reach out to the poor, we work on our character and conduct, we improve our, so much. That's what Ramadan is all about. So we've practiced self-discipline and restraint, and we have, mashallah, come a long way. So many Ramadans have gone by. Also, there are bad habits that I have, and bad habits that you all have, that you know. I would know mine, you would know yours. Work on them. This is Ramadan. It's the month of eradication of bad habits. You know what your bad habit is. You know what it is, work on it. If Ramadan is not going to soften you, what is going to soften you? Whatever that bad habit is, it could be an addiction to something. It could be just wasting time. It could be not looking after your body. It could be allowing yourself to procrastinate. It could be, there are a lot of bad habits that could be there. It could be even worse than that. It could be addictions to porn and a few other things. It could even be far worse than that too. It could be adultery or alcohol or gambling or something of that nature. Ramadan is here to tell you, give it up. Give it up, my brothers and sisters. Here's the month. We've just started it. This possibly could be my last month, your last month. We might not even make it out of this month. Look at what's happening around us. Take a look at people who've lost their lives and livelihood. Take a look at the people who've struggled through earthquakes and floods and so much more. Take a look at the wars and the unnecessary wars that are taking place across the globe. Take a look at so many who are struggling because of adverse weather, whatever else it may be, people who are in abject poverty across the globe, famine. Take a look at inflation, devaluation, and so much that's happening in the currency markets, and people have suffered. Now, are we going to wait for something before we actually change ourselves, or are we going to change? I know that, yes, people might say, well, I'm young and so on. My brothers, my sisters, come on, it's enough. I had a chat with someone yesterday who was telling me, I don't know if you understand me, but I feel like I need to just be myself and just let go or something, for a while, and I said, you don't know how long you have to live. Imagine you die while you've just let go, as you would say. Not a good thing. So inshallah, we can work on that. We can be disciplined by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this boost, I want to speak about the verses that were read tonight, some beautiful verses of the Quran. And Allah Almighty makes mention of the issue of magic in Surah Al-Baqarah, and Prophet Sulaiman and Dawood, also known as King Solomon and David. Allah speaks about them at the beginning of the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah. And Allah talks about the kingdom they had and how Allah blessed them with so much. And then Allah speaks about magic and the magicians and what they do. And He speaks about how it is prohibited to participate in magic, be it directly or indirectly. If you've asked someone to do something, to cast a spell on someone, that itself is kufr, which means you've exited the fold of Islam. And if you've done it yourself, then it's shirk. Shirk meaning it's association of partnership with Allah, and that's even worse. So be careful. There is a lot happening. You need to protect yourself from it. And don't ever be tempted to do something. Someone might tell you, I can do this and I can do that. And if it's superstitious items, leave it. Turn to Allah. Be powerful. Your prayer will protect you. Seek Allah's protection. To protect yourself from everything, you read Ayatul Kursi 3 times, the last 3 surahs of the Quran thrice each, and then the following du'as thrice each as well. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض وَلَا فِي السَّمَاءِ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. In a nutshell, you're asking for the protection of Allah from shaitan the accursed, from all harmful things and so on. We repeat this a few times, morning and evening, and if you can, after every farad prayer, and inshallah, you will be totally protected. No one will be able to harm you. You are very strong, and you will be able to ward off all the evil that comes by the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You'll be able to protect yourself and inshallah ward it off. So I thought I'd touch on that because it is on the increase. It is happening. Jinn kind is real. And unfortunately, they have been tampering with mankind, and mankind also tampers with jinn kind and tries to get help from jinn kind. Remember, shaitan and the devil is very weak, very weak. But when you show weakness, it strengthens shaitan. Or shaitan pretends like he's got strength, but he's weak. In the kayd al-shaytani kana dha'ifan. The plot of the devil is even weak, as the Quran says. So remember, you can overcome the devil, you can overcome shaitan, you can overcome whatever's happening. And like I said, it's very dangerous to engage in something, to cast spells, to bewitch someone, to do something, to go to people who are going to cast a spell on someone else is loss of faith. You've just exited the fold of Islam if that has happened. And they won't be able to really achieve anything. You would actually be achieving destruction. And that's not an achievement actually, but that is a loss. At the same time, it's also wrong to accuse people you don't know of magic and having done it. Sometimes people visit even a sheikh and they say, something's wrong with me, and the person might end up saying, well, someone's done something on you. If they take a name of a person, be careful, be very careful, because unless you have proper evidence to prove that someone's done something, you're not allowed to accuse anyone. Very dangerous. It is very bad to accuse people of doing witchcraft when they are innocent. That is a huge issue. It's happening within extended families, and it's happening all over. Reason I say this is every extended family has some issue or the other. For someone to come up and just say, you know what, it's someone in your family did something to you, automatically creates doubt of a specific person having done something, because you know that you don't always get along, or there is always some form of a rift in an extended family. And a lot of the times that person's innocent. Sometimes it's just the way destiny is taking you. You might be facing a spate of what you would call bad luck, but it's part of what Allah's chosen for your path. So take it easy, take it in your stride, fulfill your dua, continue to read what Allah has asked you to read. Remember, if you read Surah Al-Baqarah, that's the surah where shaitan cannot overcome. That particular surah, it will be fought, and shaitan will actually leave even the house that Surah Al-Baqarah is read in. So read Surah Al-Baqarah in your houses, for indeed it tackles the devil. My brothers and sisters, as much as I want to continue, like I said earlier, I'm not feeling too well. Inshallah, I should be okay by tomorrow perhaps. This boost was supposed to have come an hour or two earlier, but I was unable to do it. And then, alhamdulillah, I just put the courage and told myself, well, I have to start and we have to get something done, because even though it's not going to be too long, perhaps I can speak with a slightly lower tone, and that's what I've done. So once again, from Makkah to Mukarramah, we've had a lovely evening. We started our Taraweeh. There are millions of people here. It's always amazing to listen to the Taraweeh and to stand and to enjoy it. Remember, if you're unwell or on a journey, you do have a discount. And if you have a discount, then thank Allah and make use of it and smile, because Allah loves it when you use the discounts that He has placed for you. Remember that. Inna Allah yuhibbu an tu'ta rukhasahu. Allah loves it when you make use of the rukhas, the ease that He has created, and the permissions and the discounts, as I called them earlier. He loves it. And therefore, remember to develop yourselves by the will of Allah. We'll be talking throughout the month of Ramadan. I do have a series that I have already started. I pray that you benefit from it. We also have an encouragement to give and donate through LaunchGood. We have Team Menk. The idea is to subscribe and to be able to choose from whichever charities or causes you'd like to give, and automate it to give every day or at the intervals you wish, or a few times a day, different amounts, because every day has a blessedness, and every moment of Ramadan has its uniqueness. You never know which is the moment of acceptance, and so you ask Allah for acceptance. So if you haven't yet joined the launchgood.com/teammenk team, then inshallah you can do so now. We've just started Ramadan and we hope we can spend it beautifully. I'll meet you again inshallah tomorrow, but until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.